In this video, we are talking about work-related health in the construction and manufacturing industries. This includes topics on asbestos, noise, dust and fumes, vibration and bullying. Breathing in airborne asbestos fibres is a serious risk to your health. When asbestos-containing materials, or ACMs, are disturbed, tiny asbestos fibres can be released. If you breathe in the fibres, they can lodge in your lungs and cause lung cancer, asbestosis, mesothelioma, or other serious lung diseases. Symptoms for most asbestos-related diseases take between 10 to 40 years before they start to appear. Different types of asbestos. Asbestos or ACM can be friable or non-friable. Friable asbestos is in powder form or able to be crumbled, pulverised or reduced to a powder by hand pressure when it's dry. This is the riskiest condition for asbestos to be in, as it's able to become airborne easily. Non-friable asbestos is not able to be crumbled, pulverised or reduced to a powder by hand pressure only. It is usually safer than the friable asbestos because asbestos fibres are bonded into the product. However, non-friable asbestos is likely to release fibres if it's disturbed, for example by cutting or drilling. So how do you keep yourself safe with asbestos? You need to use safe work practices to protect yourself and other people from exposure to asbestos fibres. Before starting the job, ask if there's any asbestos. If there is at a commercial or industrial site when you start planning a job, and before you arrive at a site, ask if there is an asbestos management plan. When asbestos or ACM has been identified or is likely to be present, the organisation with management or control of the workplace must prepare an asbestos management plan and review and revise it when necessary. An asbestos management plan must be in writing and tell you the location and condition of any asbestos that has been identified on site or is presumed to be located on site. It also sets out how any identified asbestos or asbestos-containing materials will be managed on site. And if you're working at someone's home, ask the homeowner if they know if there is any asbestos in or around the house. If no one knows for sure, carry out checks so that, if needed, control measures can be put into place before any work starts. Protection. It's really important that builders protect themselves against asbestos, even on small jobs that don't seem to create much dust. If possible, plan the job so that no asbestos will be disturbed. If asbestos has to be disturbed, don't start work until having the right information and training to work safely. Noise. Construction and manufacturing in New Zealand can often be noisy environments. Noise at work can be harmful to hearing, but hearing loss is preventable if you adopt noise control measures. Use this checklist to decide if the noise levels at your work are harmful. Do you use noisy power tools or machinery at work, such as jackhammers or explosive powdered tools? Do you find it harder to hear people and things as the day goes on? Do you experience a ringing in your ears during the day or at night, or do you have muffled hearing? Do you need to raise your voice to communicate with someone about a metre away? Do you find that there is too much noise or that you can't clearly hear instructions or warning signals? Are the noise levels at your work loud enough to need hearing protection? If you answered yes to any of the above questions, you may be at risk of losing your hearing. Your business has a duty to protect your health and safety and must take steps to manage the risks from hazardous noise levels in your work. There are 4 ways that you can play a part in helping your business to protect you. Take care of your own health and safety, take care of the health and safety of others, follow health and safety instructions, and wear hearing protection correctly if needed. Take care of your own health and safety. Tell your manager, union rep or health and safety rep if you think that the noise levels in your work are too loud or if you are concerned about your hearing. If you work in a noisy environment, take breaks in a quiet space away from noisy machinery or equipment as much as possible. Taking care of the safety of others. Look out for other workers and encourage them to wear hearing protection when needed. Speak up if you feel worried about other people being at risk from harmful noise. You could talk to your health and safety rep if you have one. Follow health and safety instructions. If there are warning signs about noise in your work, make sure you follow them. Attend any hearing tests that your business has arranged for you. Make sure you understand the results of these tests. Ask an expert if you are unsure. And wear hearing protection correctly if needed. Your business should give you training on how to use, fit and maintain hearing protection correctly. Ask for a replacement if it is damaged or needs to be cleaned. Report any problems with your equipment to your supervisor. You must not intentionally damage or use the hearing protection incorrectly. Dust and fumes. Construction and manufacturing in New Zealand can often have or produce many types of dust and fumes. This video focuses on silica dust and fumes. Silica dust in your health. Exposure to a form of silica dust called RCS is dangerous and can cause serious lung disease. It is known to contribute to lung cancer, and other diseases can occur too, such as silicosis, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, and kidney disease. It is very important to eliminate RCS from a workplace or minimise exposure to ensure worker health and safety. So what is silica? Silica is a natural substance found in concrete, bricks, rocks, stone, sand and clay. Silica dust is created when materials containing silica are cut, ground, drilled or otherwise disturbed. If the silica particles in this dust are of a crystalline structure and are small enough, they can be breathed deep into the lungs and cause damage. The dust that can be breathed in is not always visible to the naked eye. Industries and activities which may expose workers to RCS include construction, such as of concrete, stone, bricks, mortar and fibre cement products. It is also used in brick, tile and concrete manufacturing. And activities can have it, such as concrete drilling, cutting, grinding, mixing and handling. How can organisations keep workers safe with RCS? If possible, eliminate the risk by using alternative products like metallic shot, slag products or grit for abrasive blasting instead of sand. To minimise exposure to RCS, 4 different methods can be used. These are wet working suppression, dust control, administrative controls and PPE. Fumes. Vapours, gas and other fumes can put workers and the public at risk when inhaled. These fumes can also cause occupational asthma and damage the nervous system. So how are workers harmed? The work of many different industries, in particular construction and manufacturing, can produce a range of fumes depending on the work site. These include, but are not limited to, asphalt, diesel fumes and fumes from chemicals used in the manufacturing processes. Exposure to these and other fumes is a serious health risk and can cause serious diseases. What can you do to minimise your risks? Ask for improved ventilation. Have good personal hygiene. Ensure regular cleaning occurs of sites. Ensure your PPE, such as respirators, gloves, footwear, eyewear and protective clothing are used. Test your PPE and make sure it's working properly. Ensure you have been trained on how to properly use PPE. Vibration. Permanent injuries to blood vessels, nerves and joints can be caused by repeated vibrations from hand and power tools. Vibrating surfaces, where a worker sits or stands, can send vibration throughout the whole body. Other factors that can increase the likelihood of vibration injury include working in cold, damp conditions, an increased grip force, and using power tools for extended periods of time. So what are the health effects of exposure to vibration? There are 2 types of vibration, whole body vibration and hand-arm vibration. Damage to the body from exposure to vibration depends on the length of exposure time, the frequency and the amplitude. Whole body vibration is caused by poorly designed or poorly maintained vehicles, platforms or machinery, which may cause or exacerbate other health effects such as lower back pain, motion sickness, bone damage, stomach and digestive conditions, impairment of vision, balance or both, and reproductive organ damage. The longer a worker is exposed to whole body vibration, the greater the risk of health effects and muscular disorders. Hand-arm vibration is long-term exposure from using handheld tools such as pneumatic tools, for example concrete breakers, chainsaws, grinders, and can cause a range of conditions and diseases. These can include white finger or dead finger, which is damage to hands causing whiteness and pain in the fingers, carpal tunnel syndrome, sensory nerve damage, and muscle and joint damage in the hands and arms, for example tennis elbow. These conditions and diseases can have very serious consequences for people. The effects can be permanently disabling even after a few years of uncontrolled exposure. Some of the things that you can do to protect yourself are have job rotation, have equipment rotation, take frequent and regular breaks, and make sure you wear gloves. Bullying. Bullying harms workers and is a significant issue in New Zealand workplaces. It can affect people both physically and mentally, can disrupt workplaces and lower work performance. While a business must effectively deal with bullying at work, everyone at work has a role in dealing with it. So what is bullying? Workplace bullying is repeated and unreasonable behaviour directed towards a worker or a group of workers that can lead to physical or psychological harm. Repeated behaviour happens more than once and can involve a range of actions over time. Unreasonable behaviour means actions that a reasonable person in the same circumstances would see as unreasonable. It includes victimising, humiliating, intimidating or threatening a person. Bullying may also include harassment, discrimination or violence. Workplace bullying is not one-off or occasional instances of forgetfulness or rudeness. It is not constructive feedback and legitimate advice or peer review. It is not warning or disciplining workers in line with the business's code of conduct. It is not a single incident of unreasonable behaviour. And it is not differences in opinion or personality clashes that do not escalate into bullying, harassment or violence. What kind of behaviours can be perceived as bullying? There are different types of bullying and types of bullying behaviours. Bullying can be physical, verbal or social, such as excluding someone from a peer group or spreading rumours. Common bullying behaviours fit into two main categories: attacks that are direct and personal, or indirect and task related. When can bullying happen? Bullying can happen at any time and at all levels of a business. Bullying can be carried out by one or more people. It can be directed at a single person or a group. It may occur outside normal work hours. And bullying isn't limited to managers targeting staff or staff targeting managers. It can also happen between co-workers and between workers and other people at workplaces, such as clients, customers or visitors. Bullying can be carried out in a variety of ways, including through email, text messaging, internet chat rooms or other social media channels. How could bullying harm workers? Bullying can affect the health and well-being of workers in many possible ways. These include anxiety, stress, fatigue and burnout, reduced coping strategies, decreased emotional well-being, feelings of reduced personal control and helplessness, increased likelihood of drug and alcohol abuse as a coping mechanism, serious physical or mental health issues including depression and suicide attempts, low self-esteem, post-traumatic stress disorder, a deterioration in health. What you could do if you were being bullied. You could seek advice and support. You could get a sense check that what you're experiencing is unreasonable behaviour by talking with a trusted person like a workmate or friend. You could seek advice from others such as managers, health and safety reps, a union, an employee assistance program, your local community law centre or Citizens Advice Bureau, or helplines such as Lifeline. You could deal with it yourself. This means approaching the other party to talk about your concerns, but only do this if you feel okay to do so. You could report the behaviour to your organisation. Your business should have processes for reporting bullying or other unreasonable behaviour. The business should consider the information provided and then decide what to do. They could decide to run a formal investigation or take another approach. Make a formal written complaint to your organisation. Your business should have processes for making formal complaints. Formal complaints should trigger a formal investigation. You will need to know how to format the complaint and who to send it to. The complaint should be as specific as possible. It needs to include specific allegations, dates, times and names of any witnesses.